Whenever I watch a video on YouTube of someone talking about their experience growing up in a Mexican household, I quickly notice the difference of theirs and mine. Now, obviously not everyone grows up the same way, but there's similarities that you could share between each other. For instance, growing up hearing mostly Spanish. However, there were other things like traditions that most of them shared that my family didn't. My parents are immigrants from Mexico. They came separately and met here in the US at an apartment complex. My brother and I were born here, and because of that, our childhood was way different from our parents. My brother and I grew up hearing mostly Spanish, however, we never learned how to fluently speak the language. Since we grew up in the US, I'm assuming that's the reason why English became our dominant language and Spanish became like our secondary language.
Hey, bestie.
Shut up!
¿A quién estás diciendo shut up tú? ¿A mí me estás diciendo shut up?
But in all honesty, it would be amazing if I could channel my inner Mexican mom when I'm fighting with my friends on Roblox. Growing up in a Mexican household, family is everything. Doors are always open, which means anyone can walk in. You're also expected to be there when one of your family members are in need of help. Now, this wouldn't be much of a problem if I knew how to speak Spanish, which I do, but not fluently. If one of my maternal family members were in need of help, I would be able to help them since they're almost like me, where they grew up hearing mostly Spanish, but their dominant language became English. Now, since we both know English, I could help them. But if I was in Mexico and one of my paternal family members were in need of help, I wouldn't be able to help them because I would have trouble with some words. I remember a time when I was hanging out with my younger cousin. We were out in the barn, and there was a moment where I was just standing there confused because I was trying to say a word, but I didn't know how to say it in Spanish. I remember that I started to do hand signals to hopefully that my cousin would understand what I'm trying to say, but she was definitely confused. Usually, if my parents were around, I would have asked them for help, but since we were alone, I was in trouble. Because of that, I think that learning how to speak your native language or the language that most of your family members speak is very important because it allows you to communicate with them, help them. Unfortunately, I've been noticing that I have been slowly forgetting Spanish. The most easiest words that used to come to the top of my head, I've been forgetting, which makes me feel very ashamed of myself. When I was little, a lot of adults told me that knowing how to speak more than one language is like a key to success. Because my mom was a housekeeper, she worked for very successful people. So hearing those words from them made me feel really proud of myself as a kid. Now, me realizing that I've been forgetting a language is just, it makes me feel really disappointed in myself. My parents never really had a good education, so they wanted a good one for my brother and I. When school started for me, it was very difficult, to say the least. My parents always wanted me to be at the top of my class, which made me feel like I had some weight to carry on my shoulders. My mom always worried that others would look down upon us because of our ethnic background, so I think that was the reason why she was super strict on us. I think she wanted to prove a point to them that we aren't any less than them. I'm not mad at my parents because of the way they raised me. I just wish that I was just more well connected to my culture. I guess I'm in luck since this July we are heading to Mexico, which I know I did say that I'm not really excited about, but maybe it will be different this time. You know, it's always good to be hopeful. For the Warrior Times, this is Davy Baby. For the Warrior Times, this is David Monroy.